Hey guys, I was just looking on YouTube the other day and I kind of noticed that there are only level 20 to 30 healing guides and they only really had restoration staffs and they were just going through public dungeons healing. And I thought by now a lot of people would be veteran rank and looking for a healing guide, so thought I'd show you mine. So I'll just start going over the skills, just people that don't really know what the skills do or they're just thinking about playing a Templar. I'll just give you the skills. So my first skill is Breath of Life, and it heals nearby wounded ally for 550. Also heals 2 additional wounded allies for 273. This skill costs a ton of magicka, so you want to be really careful when using it. It is an instant, so you kind of want to use it as like a oh shit, someone's gonna die button. You don't want to use it as much, or you will run out of magicka. You can't really spam this. And then next you have Ritual of Rebirth, which has a 1.7-second induction time, which may seem like a lot, but it's not that bad. When you have your heal over times going, you'll be fine. And it costs 306 magicka, which is 70 less than Breath of Life. It does heal 100 less, but it's 70 less magicka, which is a lot. And it also heals yourself for additional 30%, which is really nice. Next, Illustrious Healing. This is a ground cast, so you cast it like this. You click it, and then you choose where you want to put it. So if you have some idiot running off and he's dying away from the healer, you should always run to the healer if you're dying, not away. You can catch him with it. Oh, wrong skill. And I believe this does stack, I think, up to 2 times on someone. So that's really strong to put out really quick. And it's only a 284 magicka cost, which is nice. And it heals allies in target area for 101 every 1 second for 4 seconds. So 400 health in 4 seconds is nice. And this is really crucial to have on a Templar healer. It instantly removes an effect from self, such as CC, stuns, poison, debuffs, anything like that, which you run into a lot in dungeons and PvE. And over 20 seconds, heals nearby allies for 62 every 2 seconds. And allies in range may activate Purify, removing all negative effects and healing for 266. And they can activate this twice. So if they have CC, poison, debuffs, or anything, they can remove it once, and then if they get it again, they can move it again, and heal for 266. So that's a little over 500 health just from activation, plus I think 600 health over 20 seconds, which is nice. This is a huge skill, and I'll just show you the radius of this. So it's fairly long range. It's easy, and your allies can see it easy, so they can just jump in it. And then my ultimate is Practice Incantation, and it's a 6-second channel. Costs 144 ultimate, which isn't that high of an ultimate cost. And it heals nearby allies for 194 every 0.5 seconds for 6 seconds. You can't move during the channel, which kind of stinks, but if you have a heal over time on you with Extended Ritual, it won't matter. You'll out-heal practically any damage. Next, I'll just go over my second bar. Oh, I forgot. I always forget. Magelight. It's kind of just always on, so I just forget about it. It just summons a light. You'll see the light circling me right there. It summons a light. It costs 5% of your magicka. So as you can see, my magicka bar is always at 95%, which isn't that bad because you're already going to be barely supercharged, so you're not losing that much. And it reveals invisible enemies within 12 meters, which is awesome for PvP. I've caught so many people out using this. And it also increases spell critical chance by 20%, which is huge. I'm pretty sure it increases with level, so I'm not sure how that works, but I'm pretty sure it was like level 17 when I was in like the 40s or 50s. I'm not really sure on that though. And it's a toggle skill, so right now it's on, so just costs 5% of your magicka all the time. You turn it off, and you're at 100%. But you always want to have that on. It's only 5%, and you gain 20% critical chance, which also increases the critical chance of your healing skills critting, which is huge. And then I'll show you my second bar. Now, your first bar you want to use this is your main bar. You want to use it for healing, obviously. You have all your healing skills on it. Second bar is situational. Basically, before a fight, you want to use this skill. You want to put this on your DPS and mainly your tank. It heals 2 friendly allies for 726 over 20 seconds. And also, if they drop below 20% health, it heals them for additional 247, which also kind of saves you. If you happen to mess up or not notice someone dying, you'll shoot them up 247, which kind of saves them. It does remove the effect though, so you have to reapply it, but it saves them, which is nice. And then you have Restoring Aura, which I usually just throw on right as we're running in. It kind of gets you ready to set up, get your heal over times on everyone, set up your Extended Ritual, because they have health regen, which is huge on tanks. It's by 80% for 8 seconds. That's really strong. And then you have Power of the Light. And this is just kind of if you kind of got a break from healing, no one's dropping down, and you want to help out DPS, because as you progress in dungeons and raids, you always want to look for improving your run time. And I think they're going to be incorporating in Craglorn like speed runs. So DPSing as much as you can on healers is going to be huge. This basically, it's a 1.5 induction, second induction. Doesn't cost that much magicka. You target the enemy, and it puts a light on them. And it takes all the damage. Whenever someone attacks it, it'll take the damage and store it up for 7.2 seconds. And then when the 7.2 seconds are over, it'll deal an additional 40% of the damage that was inflicted. So everyone's beating on it, doing a few thousand damage, everyone's beating on it, and then it stores the 1,000 damage up and does 390 of the damage inflicted. And it also, the first 5 hits increase your ally's power by 2% for 10 seconds, so it can stack up to 10%. And then finally, you have Immovable. This is from the Heavy Armor trait line. I'll go over that later, why I have the Heavy Armor traits. But basically, this is kind of, if you start getting focused in PvP, or even in PvE if the tank loses aggro, you want to swap. I have the swap button bound to a mouse button, so I can easily just swap sets. You want to swap to this second set and pop Immovable, which gives you 900 armor and spell resistance for 8 seconds for stamina, which is also huge because you won't be using stamina, really, during a boss fight, because you're using your magicka, not stamina. So you'll have tons of stamina just sitting there waiting to be used, and you can just use it on Immovable. And you can also you grant immunity to knockback and disabling effects for the duration. So that's huge. And I think I can get that off 2 times without, oh, yeah, 2, and then I have to wait a second for a 3rd time. So 24 seconds of immunity to knockback and disabling effects. And I'll just go over passives really quick. These aren't as important, but, well, they are really important for the Restoring Light line. So basically, you have Mending. This is huge. This goes great with Inner Light. Increases critical strike chance on allies by up to 30%. Critical strike chance increases the more health an ally is missing. So the lower health they are, the more critical chance you have on healing them. So you already have 20% with Magelight. I actually think my overall crit, just from my gear and everything, is at 43%. So you already have 43 spell critical chance. And this applies to your heals. So your heals have 43% to crit, which is insane. That's almost half. And then the lower health they have, the more chance you have to critically strike. So you could, theoretically, it'd be hard to do, but it could come to a point, if an ally's health is extremely low, that you could have a 73% chance to crit a heal on them, which is healing 73 times out of 100 times. Like, that's ridiculous. And then this is when the the extended ritual really comes in handy. This is why I trade it. Focused healing, passive, increases healing power by 30% to allies standing in an area of protection created by a rite of passage, cleansing ritual, or ruined focus. So extended ritual is cleansing ritual. It's just morphed. That's why the name's changed. They should have changed the name on this passive so it makes more sense, but cleansing ritual is extended ritual. It's just morphed. So this basically means, I'll show you guys right here. So if I use Breath of Life, it heals me for 572 health. I'll use it again, 572. If I put extended ritual on the ground, this is giving me the passive, the 30% passive. I'll show you. If I use Breath of Life, it heals for 739 now. 739, 739, instead of what I was healing before. And this works for all of your Templar abilities. It does not work for the Restoration Staff abilities. I'll show you guys this right now too. So this skill, Ritual of Rebirth, the induction, and it heals everyone and yourself for more. Heals for buggy plugins. Come on. Okay, this is not working right now. Okay, 459. I'll just do it once more if we can get to work. 459. You put extended ritual down, you get the 30% increase. You also have the healing every 2 seconds, which is nice. You use your extended ritual, if it actually comes out, and it's now healing for 593. So that's 30% more, 593 again. That's an insane amount of extra healing. So you always want to have extended ritual down. It's really low mana cost too, so you can just keep putting it down. You can move over here, you can put it down over here, but your allies have to be inside this circle. It's a huge circle, so it's not that hard to stand. And I'll show you right now. I'll put it down first. So right now, I'll use Illustrious Healing. It heals for 104. So it's healing for 104 every second for 4 seconds with the extended ritual down. Like I said, it won't work because this is a restoration staff, and that passive only works for it only works for Templar abilities. So it's healing for 104, and it still heals for 104. So remember, it will only work with Templar abilities, not restoration staff abilities. I'll show you another combo. This is extremely helpful in PvP. Like, this is amazing in PvP. If you're low on magicka and you have a ton of stamina left over and your group is dropping fast, you want to make sure you have your extended ritual out, because your ultimate, practice incantation, also heals even more having this out. This is a Templar ability, so you get 30% more healing on this ultimate. So you want to make sure extended ritual is out, and it helps if you have mutagen out. If you have mutagen on your allies too, because that's even more healing over time. So if you have all of those out, and then you pop immovable. So this gives you immunity to knockback and disabling effects for the duration. You hit immovable, then you hit your ultimate. You can't be CC'd when you're using ulti. If you used your ultimate without immovable, someone could just stun you, your ultimate's cancelled, and you just look like an idiot, and everyone dies. But if you use immovable, you can't be CC'd, you gain even more armor, you use your ultimate, and then you're immune for 8 seconds, and your ultimate's 6 seconds. So you'll get your ultimate off without being interrupted every single time. So this is a great combo. Next, kind of went off on that, sorry, but those are just some really strong combos you can do in PvE and PvP. Next, this isn't as important, Lightweaver. It just gives you, actually is kind of important. When you use your ultimate, you gain 1250 armor spells resistance while channeling your ult. So you also, if you use the combo, you have 900 plus 1250, so you have 2150 armor spell resistance increase. So you're crazy armor spell resistance, plus you're getting healed crazy amounts over time, so you're not going to die in that channel. Next, Master Ritualist, you just have increased resurrection speed. It's really nice if you need to make a clutch revive. Make sure you always have soul gems on you. It's really easy with this resurrection speed. I only have it 1 out of 2. I think it goes up to 40 or 50%, which is awesome. And they resurrect with the 100% health at max strength, 50% right now. Um, Next I will go to, I'll just go over the Drake or Dawn's Wrath passives real quick. You want to make sure you have all the passives in here so you can get this last passive, which goes to all skills. These 3 passives only go to your Dawn's Wrath abilities. So these aren't that useful if you're just healing, but this is. It reduces ability, magicka, stamina, and ultimate cost by 4%. And I have 2 points, so it's 4%. So this is just nice. It reduces the cost on all your abilities. Next, I will go over Restoration Staff passives. You can just skip ahead if these are boring, but I think it's good just to explain these and how they work together, and it kind of explains why I have these skills. Essence Drain. Final hit of a heavy attack heals a nearby ally for 30% of the damage done. It's just a nice thing, because that's another thing. You always want to be auto-attacking when you're not healing, because when you auto-attack, I think you get 10% of your magicka back, and then you also have, I'll go over the gear in a minute, but you also have the enchantment that gives you magicka back whenever you make a heavy attack. So you'll get 10% plus you'll get more magicka on top of that enchantment. So you need to be auto-attacking in between heals, or when you can, or when you get a chance, to get your magicka back, or you will run out. So it's crucial you auto-attack. Next is Restoration Expert. This increases healing on allies under 30% by 15%, which is nice because if someone's dying, you need to save them, you'll heal even more. Plus, you'll have the 30%, up to 30%. So if someone's low, chances are you'll crit and you'll heal 15% more. So that's a crit plus 15% more. It's a really strong heal. This just deals 1% damage for every 10% health you have. That's just extra damage. It's nice. This one's kind of whatever too. When you block a spell, it restores magicka, which helps with the magicka issues. And Restoration Master, it just increases all healing done by 3%. And that has 1 point in it, because my Restoration Staff's only at 45. But max, I think it is 5%. So that may seem really small, but 5% is a lot. Especially when you're critting, 5% is huge. Next, I'll just go over real quick. Light armor passives, obviously, get all the passives. You don't need this active ability, so don't buy that. That's waste. Heavy armor, you only need the first 2 passives, which increase health regen and armor, and spell resistance. And the last one, which increases healing received per piece of heavy armor. These you don't need because you don't have 5 pieces of heavy armor on. Mage's Guild, it's nice to have Persuasive Will, or you can go with Fighter's Guild Intimidation. It really helps out with quests. And I just have Inner Light. What else do I have? I put points in here, I don't know why. Racial, put all your points in racials, obviously. It's really nice. I chose Breton because it seemed to me like the best class to pick for healing, because you get max magicka, spell resistance, and reduction of magicka cost. So I'll swap to my gear real quick. Actually, I'll go over my attributes. I just have 49 points into health because it's really easy to adjust. If you have 49 points in health, you can just throw on magicka gear, or you can throw on stamina gear, and you'll kind of always be supercharged. See, I have overcharged 1870 magicka, and I have 49 points in health. There's no need to have points in magicka when you can already overcharge when you have max points in health. And now to, my gear. You want, well, this is kind of for PvP. For PvP, in my opinion, you want 5 pieces of light armor and 2 pieces of heavy armor, because you don't need 7 pieces of light armor. The main reason you would want 7 pieces of light armor is for these bonuses here, which is kind of overkill, and I'll explain that in a second, but in PvE you can run 7 pieces, but in PvP you want to run 5 pieces of light armor, 2 pieces of heavy, just for the extra armor. But right here you can read this. It reduces magic cost of spells by 3% per piece of light armor equipped. So per piece you get 3%. So that could be at 21%, it's at 15. 6% isn't a huge change really in magic cost. Again here, increases base magicka regen by 4% per piece of light armor equipped. So it could be at 28%, but if you look at your stats, magicka recovery, it's already overcharged at 89, and I have 2 pieces of heavy armor on. So if I was to have 7 on, I think it'd be like 91 magicka recovery, which is pointless because you don't need an extra 2 magic recovery if you're losing like 200 armor. And same thing again, spell resistance by 8% per piece of light armor equipped. I already have overcharge spell resistance. It's just overkill if you have more than 5 pieces of light armor on. And this is awesome too. Grants 10% chance for spells to cause critical damage while a light armor set of 5 or more is equipped. So this is why you want 5 pieces of light armor, to get the 10% chance, which also gives your heals a 10% chance to crit. You want to do legs as heavy armor and your chest as heavy armor because those pieces give the most armor. And you want infused and reinforced. I'm not huge on traits, but I just went with those. Jewelry, this set bonus is amazing in my opinion. Once per minute, when you drop below 33% magicka, you gain 600 magicka, and that's like 3 heals. And that's once per minute, so that's roughly once every other pull in a dungeon, you'll be getting 600 magicka when you are almost out of magicka. And in between auto attacks with mana pots, you just won't run out. It's awesome. And for your weapon, you need this too for your magicka help. You want the enchantment, deals magic damage and recover magicka. This just helps when you're auto attacking, you get the 10% back plus this, plus you have the magicka flood passive. So you just can't run out, but you always have to be auto attacking or you will run out. And then for your second set, you can just have a crappy staff on, just because you don't really have heals. You have mutagen, but it doesn't really make a difference if you have like a 10 point, 20 point damage difference, because you have movable, it doesn't scale, restoring aura doesn't scale, none of this really scales off your weapon damage. I think that's the build I went over. Yeah, the huge thing is always having your restoring aura, or not restoring aura, extended ritual. You need to always have this out because it's a great heal over time, plus your heals heal 30% more, which is ridiculous. And your ultimate will heal 30% more, which is crazy. So you'll be over 200 health every 0.5 seconds for 6 seconds. So having all this out, so many heal over times, plus instant heals, and this induction heal, which heals AoE. It's just awesome. On a side note, for PvE, you can change this around a little bit. You could get rid of Illustrious Healing and just put Mutagen on the first bar if you wanted to, because the main reason in PvP, which aggravates me still, because I'm used to playing games where you click a heal, click a target, it heals them. In Elder Scrolls, all of your heals, well not all of them, but like your instant heals will heal people out of group. So if I was grouped with someone and he was at like 75% health, but there was a random guy next to me that didn't have a clue what was going on at 25% health, this would heal him over my buddy. And I don't know about you guys, but I want to be healing my group, not some random guy running around with his head cut off. Which is also why I have Ritual of Rebirth, because it heals in an AoE around me, so it's a guarantee heal on my group. And then also, Illustrious Healing heals all allies in an area, guaranteed heal, and Extended Ritual is an AoE guaranteed heal, plus my ultimate is. So there's only one skill that really could heal someone else. So this is really nice to have in PvP. It's really frustrating. Sometimes I'll use Breath of Life because someone's dropping fast and it'll heal some random guy and my friend will die. So just be safe. Make sure you have at least one heal over time traded. But if I was you, I'd go with this setup just because it's such a good kit for PvP, for PvE, for anything. And having a movable with the ultimate is just so strong. You just can't get interrupted. It's awesome. Plugins, I'll just go over those really quick. Add-ons. I wish I could show you. I have War Legend Group Frame, and this basically just changes the look of the group. Give me a second. I'll just invite some random guy. I'll show you guys later. If you don't have a plugin for a group, you need a group view plugin. If you don't, you won't know the percentages, and it'll be really hard for you to heal. You also have, this is strong, really strong too, the Wicked's Outfitter. This makes it easy. If you look at the top right of your screen, you can easily just change builds. So right now, let's go back to healing. This is my healing build. Oh, let's get this up. So it's on healing. I want to go to DPS. If I hit load, it automatically changes my skills to my DPS loadout. And if you guys want a video on my DPS loadout, just drop a comment and I'll show you one. I'm not huge on DPS. I don't know what's good, what's not good. I do know healing, but if you want it, just let me know. You just click healing, hit load, all your healing skills are back. It's really fast, really easy. And it does the same thing for your gear. I haven't done any, but it does the same thing. It'll instantly swap your gear out. It's awesome. Next is lore books and sky shards. It just shows lore books and sky shards on your map. As you can see, there's a sky shard there. It just shows every sky shard on the map. And then lore books, it just shows every lore book on the map. These things right here. Really nice to have when you're leveling. Foundry Tactical Combat. That's the health bar, mana bar, and stamina bar you see. It also shows your target's health and like their class and their level and buffs they have on them. It also shows debuffs on you and debuffs on them. And it shows if it's an enemy, it'll show their level and their class too, so you know what you're up against. It's really nice to have. It also, at the bottom right, it shows your heals per second, damage taken per second, and damage done per second, which is kind of cool to have. And last, inventory grid view. It just changes the view of the inventory so it's easy to look at. And that's about it. This is my guy. Oh, I forgot. The Mundus Stone, I have the Mage. You could go the Ritual, but it's such a small percentage. Just getting Max Magicka to overcharge your Max Magicka is a lot more worth it. And that's all, I guess. My friends and I are probably going to make a montage video once we get V10 of us just going around ganking, probably 3 or 4 of us trying to win outnumbered, you know. So if you have any comments or opinions of how I should change this, or if you liked it, just like the video, subscribe. Hope this helped you out.